And welcome back to my favorite podcast in the world. It is I, Giant D, and
Kanika.
better known as Doing Too Much. Good morning, and how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fine today.
Fine. Better than well or less than well, or is that a synonym?
It's a synonym, I think. I have this annoying pain since since I woke up, and I just feel like I'm feeling my age right now, but I'm all right.
It's funny you should say that because I was about to ask, do you consider yourself as being old?
Oh, I'm older. I'm not. Every time I get older, old isn't as close. Like old might have been 50 when I was 19. Right now, like old is maybe like 80. Because my parents are in their 70s and they are kicking up dust. So I feel like I don't even really. There are characteristics that make me feel like old is old. It's not necessarily an age. But I am feeling my age. I'm feeling a little rickety over here.
So, why do you feel like your age should feel like that? Like, why do you think like...
Right, it really shouldn't. But according to my 19-year-old self, this makes sense. According to my 42-year-old self, this doesn't, though. It's kind of humbling right now.
So, outside of the rickety parts of the body, do you feel like you're getting old?
No.
Or then how do you remain young?
I don't know. It's weird. I can't really say that I'm. That's why I don't use old. Older is cool. Young, I don't know. I feel like it's such a flexible. Age is so flexible as far as the youth you feel in yourself or not. Because, I mean, if you're moving around and kicking, I see some people, they're like doing jump rope challenges and they're my age, and I'm waking up talking about my side. So.
What do you think is different between them and you?
Oh, shoot. They, I mean, it's just the amount of activity that they're willing to take part in. Even in dressing, like I realized one day. So we have like 1,000,000 mile jogger suits in this house. And so there's one jogger suit that's like a royal blue color that Dallas, he can't fit it anymore. So I wear the pants. I wore those pants out one day with a white shirt. It had something on it. And some of my gym shoes, which are pretty colorful, but I like colorful gym shoes. And when I looked at myself in the mirror, I said, I don't have any business wearing this because my body, my demeanor, it doesn't look royal blue jogger pant young.
Oh,
so
wow,
even
you look
like
at it like that.
Yeah, like even in how I dress, I look and I'm like, okay, Kanika, that's not your age anymore. Like I'm known to wear dresses with gym shoes. There are certain dresses I bought and I just haven't worn. And then I went to put them on and I was like, girl, you cannot wear dresses with ruffles. What are you doing? This dress was cute though. But it was like, you can't wear that. I saw what I was trying to do, but I was probably meant to do it 4 years ago.
And so is that what makes you old?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have not transitioned to dress the way that you're supposed to at your age?
No, I don't think there's any way that I'm supposed to dress. It's just certain things that I'm like, that don't look like that really goes with what you're looking right now. I'm looking like, I don't know. I guess I just don't. There's a certain way I see myself. But one day I got dressed recently and I looked in the mirror and I said, I look like a mama. I don't look like a mommy. I don't look like mom. I look like a mama. Like I walk and my legs are my feet are slew-footed and I'm probably dragging my house shoes. That's what I looked like. I'm having a rough time.
So, how long has this been going on?
I don't know. I just became aware of it in the last couple weeks. But let's get off me. What about you?
Oh, so I realized also should be called the realization show. That there are areas that I refuse to get old in, but there's other areas that if I don't pay attention, I realize I've gotten old in.
Like what?
Just recently when I decided to not go back into education, I don't want to teach, and there were all of these platforms, and I didn't feel as comfortable as far as like I could navigate and be
clicking through stuff.
Yes, and I didn't practice it enough. And when time came, it was like, I didn't really want to do this anyway, but I didn't know how to like get used to being able to get proficient in those platforms.
And I think it's difficult for us because we're that bridge generation that the like when technology wasn't really today's technology.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're the last of it. And,
yeah. And to come to a point where you feel like, oh, I'm not moving through this technology is
because I feel
fluidly.
like, okay, so there was, in my head, I felt like I needed to have a level of proficiency if I'm going to be teaching other people's kids. And I never got comfortable to the point. Like I had done other programs when I was an administrator abroad, and I had to like watch people, and I learned how to do it, but I was out of it. Like I haven't taught over 10 years, and I was out of education since last summer, and it didn't come back to me. It wasn't like, it was just like.
It wasn't riding a bike. It wasn't quite riding a bike.
It was not. And so I've gotten older in that, and that disturbs me, but I feel like I'm at the point where if I ever need that much technology, I'll be able to just hire somebody to take care of that portion. Because I don't want to remain young in that aspect because it's so much, and I feel like I don't know what the distractions are of learning it all because, you get on social media and people aren't on there the whole day. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to become that intertwined with different platforms of confusion because it's not beneficial to what I want to do in life.
Okay.
I guess at this point. But other things that I felt like I'm getting old in, I feel like the music, I've gotten to the point where I'm not the 90s hip hop fan as much as I was once. I once was. And then because I can't, it's only certain music that I can listen to. And I've gone to classical because nobody talks in it. So I feel like I've gotten so old that I don't want anybody to tell me how I should feel. Because I'm into like hip hop. And hip hop, they kind of dictate your mood. Sometimes you don't realize it, but depending on the lyric, like like just think about the feeling you get when doom 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 MC8 on like
Gia.
Look, you just a G. You a gangster.
Hey, you are, but you know what though? Music doesn't dictate my mood. I use music to reflect my mood. So if I'm really like feeling like grimy and hype, I play Tupac.
No, but I'm saying you don't play like a playlist that just randomly pops up and then you just change. Like, oh shoot.
Well,
let's fight.
But it's all in
let's
fun.
Fight.
Yeah, like it's all in fun. I think that there's I definitely have playlists. Like I have that playlist I played for y'all yesterday was my my good day playlist. And so it has everything on there, like John Legend and Nas and like that song that dude's been playing recently, I Ain't Stressing Today, like stuff like that. It reflects the mood I want for the day. So even if I'm having a trashy day, if I turn on a certain playlist, I can redirect my energy. So it really helps me. Or sometimes when I'm just feeling hype or I'm feeling fun or whatever, I'll play a playlist that just has a whole bunch of stuff that I just love. Things from when I was younger. Like sometimes I want MC8 to make me feel like Gia.
No, I'm not saying I get that. I'm just saying I'm at the point where I've gotten like I won't transition with the music with the time. Like if somebody like I know who's good and I know who I can tolerate. Like if somebody sends me something, I'll listen to it, but I just can't randomly listen to music because I feel like that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I use music more like a reflection and not necessarily like I guess I let it move my emotion when I feel like I need it to. Mm-hmm. But in general, it's just like, how you want to feel today, Kanika? Okay, let's do this. You know, if you feeling sexy, you might play Climax, Meeting in the Ladies' Room, or Sexy. That's too far back. Y'all don't know. It's the 80s. But the whole
Well, first of all, you were single digits and you should know what sexy is.
I shouldn't. Sexy. That's what they call me. I don't know. Was that Climax? I don't know. Anyway, so I shouldn't have, but I was still rocking that music. I don't even care. But it's all fun for me. Yeah. Music doesn't really make me feel any particular way unless I let it.
I got you. So
yeah. How
do you keep yourself young then? Since you
Yeah, because I haven't been very flexible with music. Or how the clothing. So it's not, current culture doesn't make me feel young. I guess it's just my ability to do certain activities maybe now. But
I know basketball is an area where I feel like it's kept me young because I believe today's basketball is way better. I just feel like everybody's faster. They can jump higher. They understand the game more. They approach it differently versus older basketball where, they was getting money. I mean, they're getting money now, but now I feel like the skill set is so remarkable to watch. So I feel like that keeps me young, because I feel like everything gets better with time. And I never, I used to be the type like, old school basketball, but that doesn't even make sense to me. Mm-hmm. To think that that people back then didn't even approach basketball the same way. Everybody didn't love it then. They make it seem like people loved it more back in the day than they do now. But I'm so happy that I wasn't good in that because they really be working. They work. Shout out to professional athletes. But one thing I am happy. Another reason why I'm happy is that I feel like my body won't be beat up like theirs will be, in their adult youth, because when you're an athlete, you retire fairly early, but your body takes so much, beatings over time. Mm-hmm. Even I look at LeBron, how they talk about he spends so much money on his body, but you don't know what that looks like when he's 60 or 70, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, was the investment worth it? And I don't want to knock him at all because I believe he's done everything that you would want to do as an athlete. But, in my mind, I want to feel good when I'm 80 and 90. I don't want anybody to be waiting for me. I don't want nobody to be taking care of me. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to like get up and go. And when I say I'm not talking about running, nothing. I just want to be able to get up, go fix breakfast for the family if I want. I don't want to be able to get up. I don't like, so I'm going to tell you why, because I was listening to another person. They said, Jason Kidd. They said, tell me what your beginning of your day and the end of your day look like. You know what he said in the beginning of his day look like?
What?
Hold up. Hey, Bruno, chill out. He said the beginning of his day looks like me waking up and me evaluating the feeling of my body. Like this is hurt. Like how am I gonna get to the bathroom? You know, and I'm like, I don't want to do that at 90.
Okay, but can we, like, how should we interpret that? Because
I think because of basketball beat him up. Like, you know, his body it's caught up with him. Like, you know, like I can get up out of the bed at 4 a.m. Like,
yeah.
And
but I was looking at it as like, I've had people, my physical therapist told me this. She was like, when you wake up, don't get up out of the bed. She said, do a check-in from your head to your toe and evaluate.
No, I get that.
Body.
That sounds good, but he was giving it as if
saying,
he's hurting.
I don't know if this body can work.
Yes, like riggedy. Yes. So don't try to change this into no therapy. Like make it a good thing.
It was a good thing.
He was not talking about that.
Okay, so even if he wasn't, y'all, when you wake up, just do it.
Oh no, I believe that. I believe it.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to do that now. I don't want to do anything that's taken away, but that was not his point.
Yeah, like how does my head feel?
You so cold blooded though.
How do my shoulders feel? My neck.
Checking the body head to toe thing. I remember hearing that, but I want to get into a practice of doing that because typically when I wake up in the morning, I look at the time and I try to dictate how close it is to 4 o'clock.
That's sad because I ain't nowhere near waking up at 4.
Yeah, so I want to do that though, but I can say that I know I can get out of bed without feeling like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. But thinking about athletes who feel like that, I'm like, man, I'm straight. So I like the idea of just walking with you for the rest of my life. Pun intended.
Oh.
So talking about getting old, do you look at, well, remember yesterday we went to this blues concert and Kanika ran into one of her former professors. And, you know, you don't think about how old you are until she says, you know, I was in your class over 20 years ago. You're like, oh my God. When you can say anything over 20 years ago,
yeah,
like when you're young, you say over 20 years ago, you was a kid. Yeah. Over 20 years ago, you were still an adult. You know, you have gotten older.
It's true.
Yeah, like, and you know, she looked great.
Yeah, she looked exactly like when I left campus, except for her hair color. Sure enough.
Yeah, so I just, you know, when I'm listening to people, I just try to see where they are in life because I'm trying to, you know, if you're not measuring yourself to other people that's older than you, like, okay, I'm on the right path, or because in my head, I want to feel good. I want to be one of those people where somebody says, have you talked to John? Have you talked to John? He walked to the coast, you know, like
he's Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Like I want to be one of those people that, you know, you like, wow, he really did prepare, you know, to be able to do what he's doing now. And I just don't believe in all the information before. You know, when I first told people that I wanted to live to 160, they was like, John is scientifically impossible. And I'm like, you're right. But everybody was eating bad food. They didn't take their diet serious. They didn't exercise regularly. They didn't get therapy. They didn't like find ways to improve overall. So I feel like if I can make considerable amounts of efforts to like put in all of these things, I feel like I can push 160. But, you know, that's just a conversation with other people because we haven't seen it before. But I feel like by me doing this, it allows me to remain young. And I feel like the young generation now, I think, are a lot more knowledgeable than we are. Correct? So there's going to be, I'm sure, some phenomenal kids, you know, pushing the brinks of how to live the most efficient life. You know, as far as what you put in your body, how much exercise, how much activity you should get for the body. I think there's going to be a group of people like that at some point. And I think that they'll be, I guess, the next top evolution of man to watch. That's another way to keep young too. That's what, like, just trying to keep up with what's going on. But you got to watch what the distractions are, because it's unbelievable how things just get younger and younger. I was watching and I know I'm just ranting, but I was watching Guru on Math Hoffa's podcast, and he was just talking about, this was the dopest idea of how you can change a whole generation of how people approach the music. Like when I first heard Jay-Z or Big was not writing their lyrics, they were just getting in the booth. Like they kind of described it like, just imagine if you're a writer and you believe that that's possible and you start writing your music like, oh, I don't put anything down, but there's going to be some type of kid that actually benefits from it, but it doesn't sound the best. We got a whole group of people that think they can be great without writing their stuff down. And to me, if we don't articulate on how he did that, that's what happens. And I think we need to be more mindful of the information we give people who's following, because there's a whole group of people that just got destroyed by older musicians in the rap game, said they trash, and all they wanted to do was be like people before them.
Why do you say that they were trash? Because
you don't remember they disrespect, like it was the thing about mumble rap was, we can't understand what they talking about. To me, I feel like if you can't understand somebody, like it's because they think they can do that too. I can't believe people are actually writing down the rhymes in mumble rap.
True.
So,
but I saw that as more of a style that they tried to bring out, not necessarily that they were trying to mirror what Biggie and Jay-Z were doing.
Well, I think the reason why I just that was like a theory? Mm-hmm. Because why do you
get on the mic and just be like, and then
yeah. I don't understand the point. Like other than like, I'm just trying to get money. Yeah, are you trying to make good music?
I think that there are a couple of ways you could look at it, but like mumble rap, I thought that rap was supposed to give you a message. It doesn't necessarily have to be a message to like mobilize and change a community, but it's supposed to tell you something or entertain you with words, right? But maybe that's not their focus. Maybe they're just using their voice as an instrument. Like a saxophone doesn't necessarily give you a message, but it gives you a feeling.
Do you think that was the intent, or they consider themselves rappers? Like, I can understand
may consider themselves rappers because they're saying words. I mean, they maybe you can understand the hook and not necessarily all of the verse, but maybe they don't feel like that part is important.
I think, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that you gave them an excuse, but that could be dope though. They that's a different part of music. Like a part of their voice is the instrument versus them saying words, because people expect, if you're in this category of rap, I should understand every word.
Well, I'm not necessarily a fan of mumble rap, but that's just what came to me in this conversation right now. Like maybe they're just using, their voice as an instrument.
Yeah, I think. Look,
if
that's a great idea.
Inflection and change, the notes or whatever. But I personally, I would think if you're gonna start off, if you're using your instrument and you're using words like, scat, like in jazz, you have scat where people are.
They didn't do very well.
What, scat?
Yeah,
there were some great scat.
No, I didn't say that. I said they didn't do like.
Well, it had its era. Just like mumble rap will have its era. Like it will have its time in musical history. Just like scat did. So scat, it allows somebody to use their voice as an instrument.
For sure.
They use a lot of different notes and rhythm and speed and what have you. But then they would come back in and they would say words that brought further meaning to the music. So maybe it's new age scat.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I might be doing too much because I don't listen to mumble rap, and somebody who does is probably like, "Kanika, shut up." But it's
no, I think
it's
that's
a theory.
It is. I don't see why. Like, because, I guess 30, 40 years from now, who's going to write the history of it? And maybe mumble rap it won't even be viewed that way. Like we look at it today. And I would hate to be a part of I guess
the old
a category.
generation.
No, I would hate to be a part of a category and people dogged it out.
Yeah, I don't want to be disparaging to anyone's art. I don't want to do that. Is that the word I want to use? I think it is. But I know that there are certain things that aren't my cup of tea, but I don't think that all music is supposed to be everybody's cup of tea. However, there's a place in history for it.
So I think right now, what we're deciding to do?
What?
Become young, because we're trying to understand why that music was
of importance.
Correct. Okay. And I feel like when you get old is when you decide that it's not important, and that's not fair, because it was inspired by somebody, and just because you don't like it means you can just dog it out.
Yeah.
So another thing, I would like for you to tell me, how do you remain young? Like, what are you doing to remain young? You got young kids. What are you doing to not be old?
I try to engage with our kids as much as possible to hear the things that interest them. It lets me know, like, Day and Dallas be into some different type stuff. So to listen to them, I definitely get I get an understanding of new things that kids are doing, what they think, how they view the world. But I recognize that Day and Dallas are a little bit different. And so then I peek into like little cousins, like Anaya and Tay. They're the same age as Day and Dallas. And talking to them gives me a whole different perspective on their current generation. I have some cousins who are in their 20s, and they're like, Nika, come hang out with us. And I'm like, look, I'm not that age that need to be coming and hanging out with y'all. But hanging around with them does let me know that I'm not that far away. Like, there are certain things we still have in common. We still can talk about, kick it or whatever. But there are also other things that I'm like, okay, I'm not there anymore. So I can't really get with that. So I think just engaging with family that are a variety of ages, it keeps me, and also going into it, engaging with them with an open mind. I don't go in and be like, y'all don't know what y'all doing. I never speak about them. I never talk to them about what's going on with them that may not align with my preferences, and say negative things about it, because it's the current. My mom would listen to some of the stuff, and I used to like that when I used to ride around in the car with my mom and my friends. She would let us listen to whatever music we wanted to, and she wouldn't complain. But like, if I asked her opinion, she'd be like, yeah, I don't even understand why you listen to that, but okay. She wasn't somebody that made you feel like this is horrible music. These people have no skill, I think I just look at everything as I listen to those who are younger than me, and I go into it with an open mind to see, like, everything is, I give everything the opportunity to show me that I should like it. And if I don't, I don't. But it doesn't mean that I didn't try. So I think that'll keep me young. I'll be like an old granny, and they'll be like, Granny, listen to this music. And then I'll be like, okay, that knocks. I like that. Or I'll be like, this is trash.
Do you think your mother understood the lyrics then?
Oh, yeah, there were definitely some lyrics that she was like, y'all definitely shouldn't be listening to this. But she also understood that it was on the radio, and we were 13, and that's just what we're going to be listening to. So one of the things, my mom definitely recognized that what she thought was appropriate and fun and exciting in her youth, her mother didn't. And so it was like, it's the way things were. So she understood that my music wasn't necessarily going to be something that she would like. Sometimes it was, though, but she was pretty open-minded, too.
Yeah, my father he didn't know the extent of what I was listening to because he was like, don't nobody want to hear all that cursing. So he just stayed away from it. But he liked, Summertime. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who don't like that one?
I don't know any parent that was like, you better not play that Summertime again. They like the feel of that song.
Yeah. So I guess with me trying to remain young with the kids, or I guess trying to remain as active in conversations with them like you, trying to pick their brain because they don't realize that we don't know what's going on in there. And if we don't ask questions, they don't even tell us they don't tell me anything. I have to ask questions just to see what they like. And I think my father didn't ask me what I liked. My mother didn't ask me what I liked. And I don't even think I would have told them because I don't think they would have understood anyway. So, just trying to figure out how to not get too old on these kids. Yeah. So anybody want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
Yeah, my math professor, Sharon. Sharon was notorious for marking -1 on what I'm gonna just say this. We were in I was in a small program, math and science program at Michigan State, and Sharon was a professor to be feared and loved at the same time because she used to give out these assignments that you had to write out every step of a solution and explain why each step happened. And you would think, like, you partner with all of the classmates and you would think you had that thing on lock, and she would -1 you off the rip. And so, but she taught me so much that I used while I was a math teacher, and I use to this day with Day in Dallas to make sure that they have a good understanding. And so I thank Sharon, because Sharon never had kids, but she had all of us, and she helped me to be a really, really great parent. That's I appreciate that skill because I don't just use it in math. I use it in everything to make them think through their steps, and even myself. So shout out to Sharon. Over 20 years later, all her lessons are still in play.
Shout out to you, young lady, and keep impacting kids mathematically. I guess I just want to give a shout out to those people who give anybody another chance when you feel like they don't even deserve it. But not only that, but those of you that benefit from it because you actually gave them that chance. I just think about some people run out of chances, and you're on the outside looking in when you run out of chances. But those of you that gave that one more chance and you thought that this, it wasn't worth it. So shout out to all of you guys because I know it was hard. And those of you that are steadily pushing forward to get better in life, keep moving because I'm telling you, it gets better as long as you work on it. Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you cannot control. Be great on purpose.